What is good, everybody? Welcome back to Jim Dropper Sports. I'm your host, Shanti Stewart, back here. Yes, sir. We back here again. You feel me? With much joy in our hearts. You know what I'm saying? We found some. You feel me? Hey, man, you feel me? We found some joy. You feel me? In these dark and trying times. You feel me? We found some. South Carolina on the road, Norman, Oklahoma. The time 12:45 Eastern. Belts to ass. Hey,
I love it.
hey.
I love it, brother. Hey, listen, listen. I'm talking about from start to finish. I never seen us get up 21 zip in the first, you know what I'm saying, first 5 minutes. I think we did that the first quarter against Georgia a couple years back at Willie B. I think that was the game A Sanders scored a punt return. But man, um that defense, you couldn't ask for a better performance from this defense, man. Bruh, Tonka Hemway got something in. Kyle Kennard, of course, he gonna get something in. Dylan creating pressure. Um, uh, that give TJ Sanders his flowers. TJ Sanders his flowers. Demetrius Knight, bruh.
Dog. Who? After you had a guy, that decided to red shirt and leave the team, Demetrius Knight, who's been really a bright spot of this defense the entirety of the season. I mean, he's given us one of our best linebacking cores that we've had in a long time. I think when's the last time we could say we got real like dogs and back, all throughout our linebacking core. I mean, you got Debo, you got Demetrius Knight, like those two. They make it hard to play football against South Carolina. I mean, they bring physicality on a play in play out basis. They have a level. I mean, and they're both seniors. These are guys that have played a lot of football in their time, so they bring a level of knowledge to the game as well. That I mean, we haven't seen at this position in quite some time, and we've upgraded that position. Think about like Stone Blanton last year. So I know he's at Mississippi State now, but these guys have been upgrades over what we had. And again, kudos to the recruiting staff. You know what I'm saying? Kudos to Clayton White and what he's been able to help create and cultivate here. This man has done nothing but bring in dogs, help cultivate a system that is working at a high level right now. And we have depth. For the first time in a long time, we have depth. Because to have a game where you get 9 sacks, you got to be able to go deep into your bag and pull something out every time. And we dig into the bag and pull out a Uzi for you if you got questions. You feel me? So I mean, just kudos to Clayton White and his unit and what they were able to do, because I mean they put on a freaking show. I really could not believe what I was watching.
And ain't it crazy? Even though we up 21 zip, I was still nervous. I was, you know what I'm saying? Because, we got spotted 17 against LSU, you know what I'm saying? And defense spotted us, really, spotted us 14, but really, the one when uh, Nick Emenwari, first rounder. Like, we been said this since summertime, first rounder. Uh, Bakari Swain got some in. Donald Fortune, bro. He is. I meant to ask you. I meant to tell you this. Don't Donald Fortune show traits of how J.C. Horn is, like the same build, same. You know what I'm saying? The same way he be on a receiver. Don't he remind you of J.C. a little bit?
When he plays his best ball, absolutely. And he has a knack for getting his hands on the football, which I love. Any guy that can go get the football back for me, I love it. So far, he's been the guy that I've trusted. I've had more trust in him than I thought I would. Because you remember coming into the year, I said that the weakest room, or the room I had the most questions about, is that cornerback room, because we don't know who is going to step up and take over the mantle there, especially when we didn't get a great performance from our guys last season. Between him and Judge, they've been solid. They've been solid. Bakari Swain, as a freshman, as a true freshman, able to come in and contribute. They have been solid. I mean, it's a lot to be thankful for. I mean, with that unit, I mean, obviously that all stems from the front seven being able to create pressures and everything like that. But I also give credit for the fact that they played mobile quarterbacks really well here lately. Like, you think about what they did to Jalen Monroe. held him in check for the good part of that game. He was able to still make some plays, but for Oklahoma, I wondered they're coming into this game. I wondered because Hawkins was a much more quicker quarterback than Milroe. I was wondering, like, hey, are we going to be able to keep him in the pocket? Will we make him make freshman mistakes? And will our freshman be able to elevate his play enough to help us get a win? And that's exactly what happened. Lenore Sellers, you spoke about him. Each and every week, I'm seeing him. He's taking care. He took care of the ball. Rep the jersey, man. You know what I'm saying? He took care of the football. He's still he's it feels like he's starting to feel the pocket and feel the pressure coming from his back from his blind side a bit better. And he's getting up out of there right in the nick of time. Our offensive line still has much work to do, and I'm very glad that tweet you just sent me, which we'll get into. Very glad that that thing is out there in the ethosphere because it needs to be addressed. But back to Lenoris, he's making the touch throws. I mean, he had a couple big throws where it's just like you just can't put too much on it. You just can't put too much. It's like you gotta know that this ain't the one where you put the mustard on it. Lay it in your receiver's lane, lay it in your receiver's hands. Let him go run with the rock. And he made a couple throws like that in that game against a good defense. I mean, that was still a very good Oklahoma defense. Even though we were very disappointed with how we played in the second half in terms of not being able to have much offensive production, I'm still seeing things out of Illinois that each and every week make me feel very good about our chances moving forward. But I want to hear your thoughts.
Yeah, I got Lenore stats pulled up right here. He went 16 to 24, 175 passing yards, one passing touchdown, 13 carries, 28 rushing yards. Yeah, I like this. I like this. I hate, and then again, you know what I'm saying? We got, and Oklahoma fans, I know it's frustrating. I get it. Change is going to come, but do not give up on Brent Venables because Brent Venables' defense, he always going to keep a good defense. I promise you. And that's what me and Shanti's were really scared of, you know, being up that big, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, my brother, that play calling. I got mixed opinions on it. I put up a tweet or whatever that, you know, basically a breakdown of what I saw, you know what I'm saying? I'm no sports analyst, nothing like that, whatever, but it had got some very it got some good feedback on my Twitter page. Everybody, you know, follow me on Twitter. And some people say, you know, it's because Oklahoma has a great front and a great defense. We don't want to. Last thing we want to do is have noise, put the ball in harm's way, and give the game away. You know, and don't be too aggressive. In which I get that. You know what I'm saying? And again, we respect Brent Venables. I respect Brent Venables a whole lot too as well. So you know, but a part of me, I'm just greedy. You know, so I'm greedy. I wanted 50. I wanted, you know, 60 points hung on their head. And Norman. This Norman. Oklahoma usually don't get their ass whooped in Norman, but this here, you know, this here was special. This here was special, and this is just years of built up, you know, anger because you know Brent Venables gave us hell for almost a decade, about 6, 7 years. You know what I'm saying? So this
He was
ass
owed
here,
this.
yeah.
He was owed this one. I'm not gonna front with you. He was very much owed this one. And look, this was coming because damn it, we owed somebody an ass whooping, bro. Honestly, but what we've dealt with this season, the amount of heartbreak I've had enough heartbreak in this one season alone to damn near last me a lifetime. And this is one season. While it's still been a successful one to this point, I still got enough to last me a lifetime. And somebody was owed his ass whooping because we have gotten it from the refs. We we've gotten it from enough times it just feeling like it just why it can't be us. We finally got one of these games that felt like we were a dominant program. We owed somebody. We still owe we still owe them for sure. We owe somebody an ass whooping. I'm glad we finally got to have one. I'm glad we got to get it on the road in Norman because I didn't know where the wins were going to come from here at the back half of the year, truthfully and honestly. So I
My brother, I felt back in my mind, I felt like we was gonna get two. I honestly thought it was gonna be Ole Miss, and then we get Oklahoma. But if you would have told me we were literally a couple plays away from knocking off Bama and Tuscaloosa, and then knocking off Oklahoma and Norman, that is a great achievement there. And that's you know we really we it's sad man because we were a couple plays away from being 6-1, and having what the fifth hardest schedule in the country, bro.
Here's the thing. Like usually when I had to have those type of talks, like you're like, oh, whatever, tongue in cheek or whatever. Like, no, legitimately, we're a few plays away from being 6-1. And that's very realistic. Our outlook on this team in terms of can we go compete with anybody? Absolutely. And if you ask me, is there a team you fear on the schedule? No. Only thing I fear is us. I fear whether we will be prepared. I fear whether we will be ready to go. I fear that Dowell Loggains will lay an egg in another critical game. And they do have another critical game coming up. And we won't get too much into it this week because we got a bye week. We got plenty of time to learn about Texas A&M, with this week off. But let me make something very clear to everybody there in Columbia. Y'all got one more time to show y'all ass after a bye week, and we all gonna know something. We all gonna know something very well. And I don't want to, bro. I like y'all. I like you, Shane. I think you the one. I think you can take us. I think you can take us there. Clayton White, but we done got back tight. Last year it was a little rocky. You know what I'm saying? We back clicked up now. Down, you ain't.
And this the
Dude,
thing. And it was this time. It was the late. It was a late bye week last year when Clayton made some adjustments. I think we went to a 3-3-5 or something like that or whatever, which worked kind of. I mean, it worked. We held the teams in check, kind of. You know what I'm saying? Stayed in games. Kentucky was firing all cylinders. Something like that. Kentucky had a good year. We shut them down to Columbia. You know what I'm saying? But and then we held the boys in the upstate in check too. It's just the offense. Dow, what's up, my guy? I mean, what is really up with Dowell Loggains, man? I think Shane even said it too, man. Like having 65 yards, I think it was like 65 total yards offense in the second half against Oklahoma. I'm sorry, I don't care. Like I said, I don't care how big we up. I don't care who the defensive coordinator is. We have to put our foots on these people's throats. We have to.
a
Cause they're
standard
not
has
doing
to be
us.
said. Facts. If the opportunity is there, they're gonna do it to us. We have to have a standard for what we want this program to be. I think this is the perfect time. Years past, I've told people, "Hey, hold off. All the guys aren't there yet. We're still a little ways away. Not this time. Not no more. Have a standard. Uphold the standard to what you want this program to be. Because I think we're there. I think everybody in that room is very much aware. You can't tell me Shane don't know that. Like, hey, look, I don't know how much longer I can keep letting things go around being mediocre because we got the guys in the building. You got a quarterback. Everybody ain't got a quarterback. There's some teams right now with some redshirt freshmen running around that ain't too sure about. Everybody ain't got a guy. You feel me? And if you got one, you press the gas to make sure that he gets what he needs in order to succeed.
And I'm glad you said that, Shanti. I'm sorry. I'm glad you said that because there was a 5-star, the next big thing. What I was told, what we was told, the next big thing that struggled against that Bama defense, but Lenoris did his career best, and Tuscaloosa, I might add, a little old 4-star a little old 4-star that nobody outside of South Carolina knew who he was. I remember before the season, they were like, Lenoris, who? Who's Lenoris? When he give this man an OC, y'all would know who Lenoris is. Bookmark this. Y'all would exactly know who Lenoris is.
Hey man, make sure you clip that one. When this go out, make sure you get that thing clipped. But to kind of transition a little bit, we're talking about our OC and what he hasn't brought to the table and what hasn't been done. That at least from what we've seen, Oklahoma made a move, and I I got to give kudos to Brett Venables for this. It's tough to make moves like this. These aren't the most popular moves to make, but when you see and you recognize that, hey, this is not working, nobody's producing. Why do I have multiple 5-star quarterbacks that aren't producing? 4 or 5-star guys that cannot produce. What is going on? And I
Mind
know
you,
it's
they
one.
home and they homeboys too, Shanti. Mind you, that was Brent's right hand. Yeah,
You got to be willing to make that tough call, bro. And I'm looking around. as some people and being like, maybe it's time for you to make a certain call. But I mean, speaking of which, the tweet that you sent from our good friend Brad Crawford. So, and I'll read. And this is like again, this is from Brad Crawford 247. He said, I believe South Carolina offensive coordinator Dowell Loggains and OL coach Lonnie Teasley are coaching for their jobs over the final 5 games of the regular season. Teasley's on an expiring 2-year deal, and the Gamecocks will owe Loggains a 1-year buyout if they move on. Moral of the story is something's being said in that building that's getting everybody, looking at each other away and figure it out. You got 5 games. I can respect Shane for the fact that he won't make a mid-season move. I respect him for that at the very least. If he got his guys, he's gonna roll with them to the very end. But heads gonna have to start rolling if we ever want to start being something. And I'm not saying firing is the only way it can go, because maybe you got a fire under his ass right now, and maybe we see something over the final 5. But I want to see something. I want to see them trying to be an explosive offense, trying to be a solid unit. But that offensive line, Lonnie Teasley, that if you're at fault for this, because you didn't got my quarterback hit a whole awful lot, I don't really appreciate that. Protect my quarterback. You feel me? Dowell Loggains, you got a guy that can very much make big plays, that can very much sling it down the field, that is starting to become, better. And it's not all on Dowell. Some plays Lenore's has to just be better as well. But the overall point is, how is he being coached? And we all have to look to you as the guy culpable for what we've seen on the field.
Uh,
Produce.
I mean, that's basically what they're telling us. They're telling us, really what's going to be critical for Dow is Texas A&M game, because we have a repeat of Ole Miss. You coming off the bye, and we look like a hot bag of ass. Now, granted, the Ole Miss game was really all on. It wasn't all on Dow. I want to say. I think it was on Beam, because he threw the momentum off going for 4th and 1 on our side of the field. I thought that was stupid, the fake punt stuff. But yeah, that's first 2 tests there. And not to go too deep in Texas A&M. Defense. I mean, we don't got Connor Wyman is not that mobile, so and he gets happy feet. He gets happy feet. So I will say, I think our defense will be there. Offense on you, buddy. It's on y'all.
Look, all I say is this. I ain't giving nobody no passes, even for those that have performed well. Come together. Meet at the altar. Let's do this all at the same time. You know what I'm saying? Let's make it all happen all at once. Because even the Oklahoma game wasn't a all-in performance. That was very much a defense. That was very much a performance orchestrated by your defense. Let's have a come to Jesus meeting against Texas A&M, and let's put forth what I think should be a dominant performance or a good performance. Nonetheless, I just want to win the game. Let me just start there. I do just want to just win the game.
Look, we got a mean confidence boost. This Oklahoma game is a mean confidence boost. Let's go into A&M, handle business, just compete. Compete. Like I said, even talking to me, bro, I'm never gonna say we're gonna win a game. I'm just gonna say just compete. Vandy, compete. Because Vandy look competent now. Struggle is Ball State, but still, compete. Missouri, we'll get there. Wofford, come on. Should be a win there. The boys in Upstate, wait till the final week of November till I hear. Let's go on to the next.
Hey man, we'll see y'all boys soon. But very
Good
much
talk.
we'll talk for sure.